Hello, everybody. We are live from the DoubleTree by Hilton, Tucson Convention Center here in Tucson. Wow, we have the PHNX Coyotes diehards are here. This is awesome. Great environment. Just watched an awesome preseason finale for the Arizona Coyotes. But we're going to talk a lot about the Tucson Roadrunners because when we're down the I-10, that's what we do. So thank you all so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig and PD as always. And we are excited to welcome a special guest, a first-time guest of the show, in fact.
What the heck? How did that take so long?
I don't know.
Way too long.
Tucson Roadrunners GM, John Ferguson Jr. John, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I watch you guys all the time. Great to be here.
Awesome.
I'm sorry that PD didn't offer you a beer. He's just drinking by himself right now.
He's the only one.
Selfish party of one.
No, we can thank Nick for that.
Yes, thanks, Nick.
That's actually how it goes around here most of the time, John. But let's get right to the Tucson Roadrunners. First of all, John, do you even know where you are right now with all the travel you've been doing lately?
Yeah, certainly. It's great to be back here. I enjoy this place. I've been back here a number of times the last couple of years, regularly, obviously, and up and down the highway, back to Scottsdale and Tempe and parts in the east as well.
John, I know there are a couple more roster cuts coming from the Coyotes, but a large part of the Tucson roster is here now. We've talked about this a lot over the last few years, how eventually we were going to start seeing some of those big prospects filter through Tucson. You're going to see the growth process, the development process at work, the future of the Coyotes at work. Where are we at in that whole process right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. What we're starting to see is some of these seeds starting to germinate. We got some guys. Josh Doan is here. Akuratu came over from Finland. You got Zuber in here. Augmenting what we've already got in place. Some good young players. Obviously, Carcone moved his way up. And we've got others that are ready to take that step. Koyachonok pushing, Kesselring pushing as well. There are others. Karate had a real strong preseason, and we brought in some new players. But we're really excited about some of the youth coming through, some of the guys we've drafted. Obviously, we watched Cooley today here. We don't expect him to be back in Tucson anytime soon.
Thanks for clarifying that.
It's safe to say that, but it was great to see him today as well.
Yeah, he was great.
Wait, one of the things I wanted to know, John, and we've talked about this when we had Steve Potvin on the show, it's the balance from this club in Tucson of development plus success. And how do you just get between winning hockey games, but you have to develop players too, and how do you walk that fine line?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I've said this a long time, and winning and development are not mutually exclusive here in the American Hockey League, and they're not mutually exclusive to what we're doing in Tucson and up the road in Arizona. We think one just helps the other. And we play to win every night. Our guys come to practice every day to compete with each other, make each other better. And we practice healthy internal competition every day in practice, on and off the ice, all week. And then externally against the opponents. So our guys are competing for roles, competing for ice time, pushing each other, and then competing together to get W's on the weekends.
For those who might not understand, how the ins and outs of your role, how do you work with Bill Armstrong? Like, what's your day-to-day kind of correspondence, especially with these two teams, because there's a lot of movement between the clubs as the year goes on?
Yeah, there's a ton of movement. We're in communication, Bill and I, and others in the organization, obviously, regularly, certainly, oftentimes multiple times a day, and if we're not in the same city or in the same office at the same time. So anything, obviously I'm directing, heading up this part of the organization and our minor league operations, but also assisting and overseeing some of the pro side and down the stretch when we have multiple high picks, I can lend my insight to those who have a great deal of expertise on that side as well, leading into the draft and Our guys we've accumulated, so much draft capital. Much of which we still have.
Right.
And a credit to Bill and his plan and this organization sticking to that plan, and we're just seeing it through. And we're probably right in lockstep as we come through here in Tucson, and bringing in some of these younger players and growing some already that we moved up, and very much looking forward to improving what we have right now.
I don't want to get too granular. I don't want to ask you about every player on the roster, but a couple guys that you just mentioned. I think, first off, you were the first one to say to me, hey, keep an eye on Maximilian Zuber. He's ahead of schedule. What have you seen? What convinced you that he was making those sorts of strides?
Yeah, we saw it, and credit to our amateur staff and the guys over in Germany, and because he wasn't readily apparent to most people. And when he got here at development camp, his hockey sense just stood right out, even in practice, around the net, his body positioning, stick positioning, puck making decisions, and we just need to keep him getting stronger and more fluid, and working on his edging and efficiency of stride, power, those kinds of things. But what he has in terms of hockey IQ and decision making with the puck and with and without the puck is tremendous, and we think it translates someday, projects to be an NHL defenseman.
One more guy I want to ask you about who's going to be on the show very shortly here, Josh Doan. He had a phenomenal rookie faceoff, right? You looked at the points he put up, and people can look at the short sample, the small sample, and say, wow, this guy might be ready for the NHL right now. Of course, that's not how you evaluate players. Not only do you not evaluate them in the short term, you're looking at a whole lot of other things. You've talked to me. You've mentioned the term over and over again, overbake. What's the plan for Josh Doan for this season?
Well, he's right on. He's right on schedule, and the beauty of the development model that we have in place here. He came out of school, came out of ASU at the end of last year, and took advantage of it. Played close to 13 games. Played all 3 of our first round games against Coachella. Went all the way to the final, obviously, and lost at home in Game 7. But he stayed in our lineup right through the playoffs, and we had extra bodies, and that showed a lot of us where he was at on the ice mentally. And he got to know what he needed to work on off the ice, and give him credit. He really got stronger. He got more explosive. He gained some efficiency in his stride, and all of his hockey IQ and his ability to strip pucks and shoot pucks, really jumped off the page at the rookie tournament, and didn't end there. He did it again in the preseason, and so it's hard to say he's ahead of schedule because he's more of a late blooming prospect. Right. But it's great to see what he did and give him credit for what he did this offseason.
Can you talk about the defense you have on this team? I look at the Roadrunners, projected Roadrunners. I know the roster hasn't come out finally. But Kesselring, we've talked about Zuber, Akuratu. You talk about guys that this looks like this is a pretty solid American League back end. How do you feel coming into the first game with the back end you're going with?
Well, we like what we have. And Kampfer, can be a leader for us in a lot of different ways. Great two-way player. Been lots of NHL experience. Koliachonok, Kesselring, Zuber. We got to get him back healthy. Onyebuchi, Karate, and Patrick Cook from Slovak. So we think it's a good group. And we're as deep as we've been since I've been around here. And we're looking forward to getting started. We've got lots to work with. Up front, we're probably deeper than we even need to be. But we like that problem.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. On that note, there's, as I mentioned before we went live, we have a lot of Tucson Roadrunners fans here right now, I'm sure watching and listening. And, of course, Coyotes fans like to keep tabs on what's going on with Tucson. Just from your point of view, what can Roadrunners fans' expectations be for this season in Tucson? I know it's hard to say with a lot of moving parts, but what is the goal this season?
Well, we want to be a team that's hard to play against every night. We want to be a team that expects to win. We want to be a playoff team, and hopefully we can be better than that. But we know we want to be better in December than we are today out of the gate, and we need to be even better in March. And we think we got capability to get better throughout the year, and hopefully do some damage in the playoffs.
One more thing I had, John, too, is we know that there's going to be injuries with the big club.
Yes.
And you're going to have to get guys to come in from down here. And my question is, how does that process happen between you and Bill and the coaching staff? Like, how do you decide, okay, it's this guy? Well, we sit here and go, well, gosh, we thought it should be this guy because he's leading the team in scoring. But How do you come up with who goes and makes that spot?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. We had a couple guys blocking shots today on defense, and we're not sure where they're going to be in 2 days.
Yeah.
So that conversation just occurred right after the game. It was a rare occurrence, but it was a great opportunity. Bill was in the room, Bear's in the room, our coaches from Tucson are in the room. So we just had that discussion. We're going to have, we expect to have probably 1 or 2 of our defensemen practicing up top on Monday. So. This thing happens all the time.
Yeah.
These things change. You got to get through the game before you make plans for 2 days from now if we get, a game that we just played.
Yeah, John Ferguson, breaking news on the show, by the way.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, listen,
boy.
Thank you. We've been wanting to do this for a while. We should probably do it for longer. We should have you on for an entire show, but
love to.
It's a long drive back to the Valley.
Yeah.
Let's admit that.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate your time and really looking forward to chatting with you more this season. I think we're gonna see a lot of movement between the Coyotes and Roadrunners.
Always
so
do.
we'll be back down here too. That's our plan anyway.
yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Excellent.
So
Great to have you here.
Thanks for coming, John.
Thank you.
thanks so much, John. Appreciate your time. All right. As we
I know we're waiting for that other kid. Where did he go?
was he in here?
I don't know.
Not yet.
All right,
You can do
you're
your
good
ad
to
reach.
go, John. So
Okay.
at any time, safe travels back to
Great.
the Valley.
got it.
As we transition here and go find our next guest, PD's literally going to find him physically
Are you
now.
leaving the set here?
He is
that
leaving
what's
the
happening
set.
here?
It's totally fine. Oh, we got a round of applause for John Ferguson Jr. He deserves it. It's been a great day here in Tucson. Maybe shouldn't tell John that, maybe we had a couple drinks earlier at Illegal Pete's. I did at least, and
It was Emma's fault. Emma talked me into it.
It is true.
I wasn't going to drink until Emma made me.
It is true. But I walked right into the Illegal Pete's. I went right upstairs, and what did I see? Right in front of me, a Four Peaks Wow Wheat banner, hanging from the second story of Illegal Pete's. And I thought, I need to get a Four Peaks Wow. And that is what I did. And that was a great way to start my day at around 1 p.m. today. PD is definitely drinking Four Peaks.
Yeah, because he's not even on the set right now.
Yeah, I don't know where he went.
We are off the rails here.
This is classic, by the way. This is classic. But in the meantime, I'll tell you about Four Peaks, and it is the best time for Four Peaks because it's pumpkin porter season. That's my favorite personally. And at the Four Peaks H Street Pub, they have a ton of fun stuff going on. Sign holding, Oktoberfest, and the Haunted Brewery Tour. If you haven't done that, it's so fun. Great to put you in the vibe for Halloween and spooky season. So you can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. How's it going?
It's good. I wanted to go visit with people, and I wanted to walk John out.
Yeah, we walked John out.
You guys got the computers. I don't feel like I'm part of the show today.
We can talk a little bit about this game because
Wait,
listen,
not
here,
yet.
Not yet. She's got
I have
you got
one
another
more.
ad.
Yeah, one more
I'm
ad
just
to
gonna shut up.
That's why I left.
By the way, I was sitting here for 15 minutes by myself waiting for these two.
Yep.
Just saying.
We were working.
Yeah.
We were working.
We were. And do you know how much waiting around doing nothing? And you haven't seen the shots I took? They were horrible. They were really bad. I started with my tripod,
it was bad.
but then I had to go up here. And
it was really bad.
It was a whole thing.
I don't know if those will ever see the light of day, but it's okay.
It wasn't good.
There's plenty of sports.
look at this.
We're live on the show. What's up? Hi. Here, do you want to wave to the
camera over here.
right there? Yeah. Hi. What's your name? Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
Rosie's loving
Let's
that.
make Rosie a star here.
Yes.
Look at that. Chris
Oh,
Canfield's got
the belt
on the show.
This is
We're
great.
getting all
This is
kinds
great.
of photo
Oh my gosh,
bombs
so
here.
nice to meet you. We'll hang
He's
around
leaving
until
the
after the
set.
show. We'll say hello. Yeah.
Can we talk about the donuts before we talk about the hockey
No.
game?
Sure, we can do that.
We can talk about the donuts later.
This is just we're
Okay.
off the rails.
I swear. Okay, there's a lot going on here and in the sports world. We got MLB playoffs. D-backs play tonight. We got Cardinals playing tomorrow. We have Suns preseason. There's so much happening. I don't know where to keep up. Check out Fubo TV because they have it all in one place. 140 plus channels of live sports shows, movies, and news. 1,000 hours of cloud DVR at no extra charge. You can watch all your favorite college football and the NFL and the MLB playoffs with Fubo TV. Go to www.fubotv.com/PHNX to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. All right, now we can talk
Should we
about
talk the
whatever
game
we
or
want.
donuts?
Let's go game first.
Let's talk
Game
about the
first?
game.
Game first.
Because I want to establish something here. We're waiting for Josh Doan, but the last name says it all in terms of waiting for him. He's a Doan.
He's
so
right there.
Oh, see, we're chirping him, too, because he's late.
Here he
Just
comes.
like his dad. Just like his
timing.
dad, he's late.
Here he gets a round of applause.
Here he comes.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Josh Doan, a big round of applause for Josh Doan.
All right. Well, Josh Doan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate your time.
You got in late last night, didn't you?
Yeah, I think we got in 5.
5 in the morning?
Oh,
yeah.
buddy.
5 in the morning?
Oh,
Did
buddy.
you get to nap today
That's
at
rough.
least?
A little bit.
Oh, my God.
Watch
buddy.
some college football and
I'm so
go to the
sorry.
game.
Do we wake you from that nap, buddy?
No.
And now he's like, oh, now
Sorry.
instead of going to hang out with my teammates watching baseball, I get to come hang out with these guys.
Yeah,
We'll
they're
make
up
it short.
1-0, so it's.
Are they really?
Yeah, it's playing over there. So.
Oh, heck
All
yeah.
right.
Oh, it's right there, too.
Go D-backs.
We'll keep an eye on it.
should put
Wagon.
the D-backs game on right on the table for Josh so we can keep an eye on
Keep
it.
the ticker on.
Just as much.
Oh, boy.
Actually, you're probably the reason that your dad is a baseball junkie, right? Like, he's told me that he learns everything from you.
Yeah, he's pretty big into like baseball and everything, but if his team does well, then he takes credit. If it does bad, he blames me. It's kind of how it goes. So
Of course.
that's
Of
how he
course.
rolls.
Oh, man.
Well, Josh, you've made it through your first NHL training camp now from beginning to end. One, tell us how you're feeling, and two, what did you think of the experience?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I think it was huge for me to get that, just the understanding how the game's going to work at that next level and the pace of play. It's a little bit more structured than any other hockey I've ever played. So to get in there and experience that was cool, and then to get on the ice with the guys in practice and to learn from Coach Trigney and the other coaching staff about what their style is and how they want you to play. So that if you do end up getting called up at some point or playing for the team at some point, you kind of have a little bit of understanding of what they're looking for and what they want out of you.
Josh, I just wrote about you today, but I want for maybe the people that haven't read the story yet, hopefully you've all read the story, by the way.
Plug City.
It was quite a summer for you. Can you just recap a little bit of what we talked about today up in the shoe swap and working with Greg, the guy that's been training this family for a very, very long time, for a quarter century?
Yeah, it was obviously a big summer for me and training, and the Coyotes did an unbelievable job of setting it up early and at the end of the year. And as soon as I was able to get in the gym with them, I was starting with them, and then they sent me home with a program to go up to Canada and gave me what they thought I needed to help grow my game and certain things. And they reached out to Greg, and they had a good conversation, Mitch and Greg, about what my plan should be for the year in the summer, and they came up with an unbelievable plan, and it's so far it's been helping.
And then Greg beat you up all summer.
And he made me feel the pain all summer. He says.
So what was your focus in particular? Obviously, last year was interesting. You went from college to Tucson, and now you're coming into a full season of pro. What was your focus in the off season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was pace of play for me, and it's something that goes to moving my feet and not just trusting my brain to do everything. Is kind of get my feet going behind my brain, and the biggest thing, it wasn't necessarily speed, but just fast twitch muscles and making sure everything was going at the quickest that I could and not kind of sitting back and waiting for stuff to happen.
Hey, look at you started right at the rookie tournament where you led this team in scoring at the rookie tournament. Then you go on to the preseason to get the hat trick. Did you expect that, or is it like, yeah, I think I can handle this, or was it a little bit of surprise to you? Because I'll be honest, for me, it was a little bit of surprise that you developed that quickly.
Yeah, I think it was something that I looked forward to all summer and was showing off that I could play at a higher pace and could take my game to another level. I think it's something that I focus on my whole life, isn't focusing on points and is going out and making plays happen and being a disturbance on the forecheck and stuff like that, and using my stick to create opportunities for me and my teammates. But I think going into that rookie tournament, you get to feel good about yourself playing with guys like Geeky and Cooley and Gunther, and you get a connection with those guys that you can take with into preseason. Luckily, Geeks and I got to play a couple games together, which was really nice. And when you get an opportunity to play with a guy like him, he's another smart hockey player, and when you play with him, he's going to get you the puck. So I think it was something like going into it is I knew I was going to have an opportunity to play with good hockey players. So to put aside all the worrying and just focus on moving my feet and getting it on the forecheck is two things I need to work on and use as my strengths.
I want to back up for just a little bit here and reference something that Leah was just talking about. When you left ASU, there were people then that were saying, is it too early? Is he leaving a year too early? You were certain of it, and I know you talked to, I don't know how many people were advising you then before you came to a decision. What convinced you that you were ready to take this next step, which now clearly was the right move for you?
Yeah, I think it's when we were talking about it, my family and I, it was never to get settled at the level you're at, and that's something that if you're going to a level that's going to make you push every single day, then you're going to get better doing it. And that was the biggest focal point for me. Is there was question marks of whether I was ready or not for the USHL when I went there, and then ended up being a good decision. The same thing going into ASU. There was a little bit of if I was strong enough or fast enough to play college hockey. And the biggest point in our family was to make sure that if I'm going to move on, it's going to be something I got to go every day and work for it. And if you get stuck in the same spot and get settled, then it can kind of decay your progress moving forward. So that was the biggest focal point, was just making sure that I was going into a better place for myself and somewhere where I was going to be able to grow. And I think the decision was one that was a whole family decision, but at the end of the day, my dad made sure that I was making it myself.
Yeah, you had mentioned at one time that he's like the least helpful.
Yeah,
The guy's literally done everything and has the best advice.
Right.
No, it's on you, kid. Now you've been in Tucson. Now you've played a preseason game now with the Roadrunners. Where do you see yourself fitting into this club? What's your role going to be with Tucson?
Yeah, I think there's always parts of my game that I want to expand on, and whether or not it's working on the PK a little bit still down here and doing stuff like that, but getting comfortable playing against pro guys on a power play and getting comfortable playing top 6 minutes in a professional league with really skilled guys. I played with Nathan Smith and John Leonard last night, who are both unbelievable players, and just learning from them. Those are two guys that have played NHL games and know what it's like up there and have done well in the NHL. So when you get an opportunity to play with them, kind of don't take it for granted and learn from them every single night.
Does your mindset change at all? As I talked about before, this is kind of your first time going into a full season of pro. Last year, again, you made the jump. Do you have any sort of different mindset now entering a full year of pro versus, last year when you made the jump?
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit more comfortable now than I was more going into last year with the jump. I'm excited. I think the biggest thing is just to focus on having fun and enjoying the game, because if you focus too much on all the other things, then you're going to get distracted from development. And so I go to the rink every day with a smile and going there to learn and to get better. So I think that was the focal point last year, was just to get settled in and try to figure out what I was doing. And then this year's to move on and to figure out where my game can stand at the AHL level.
All right, Josh, the important question now. Break down Dodgers Diamondbacks for us.
Yeah.
The D-backs just hit a home run while we were sitting here, by the way. It's 5-0.
Who hit it?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's got to be Gabby.
Somebody comment what happened in the game.
Somebody let us know on the
It's got to be Gabby Moreno.
When you go to the rink,
he's playing tonight.
When you go to the rink every day now, and everybody's goal in the American League is playing the National Hockey League. It just is. I mean, that's what you want to be doing. Are you able to parse that and go, okay, I have to focus on what I need to do today, or is it, gosh, I really want to be there? You know what I mean? Is it always in the back of your mind?
I think it's away from the rink. It's always going to be there. You're always wishing to be in the NHL. That's the goal of anyone in the AHL, and everyone as a kid is you want to get to the NHL level. But when you're at the rink, I try my hardest to just focus on getting better, and the rest of it will kind of take care of itself. If I'm getting better every day at the rink, then I'm moving in that direction rather than thinking about it and not doing really much to go in that direction. But
yeah, Petey sidetracked me here, but I really want to know, how big a Diamondbacks fan are you? You are a junkie, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a
Do
pretty
you go to
big
the
Diamondbacks
games?
fan. I went to a couple this summer when I was in town.
He was right. It was Moreno, 3-run.
Gabby,
home run.
he's back.
Awesome.
See, he knows.
He got a concussion last game.
Yeah, he did. He got hit with a
Terang
bat
hit
in the
him in
head.
the head,
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't even sure if he was going to play.
Yeah.
He should be on the Diamondbacks
This
show,
is
not
now.
our
This
show.
is now the
we'll get it
D-back
right.
show.
Yeah, PHNX D-backs, yeah.
Oh,
PHNX,
man.
Why not?
He should be calling. We wanted his dad to call into that show, and he said I would, and then he doesn't answer the phone to schedule the appointment to get him on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Classic.
And then we had Keith Yandel on, and your dad was supposed to come on, and then
he
he came on after Keith
He called
left.
15 minutes too late.
Too late,
yeah.
It just
Classic.
comes as no surprise to
He's
you.
got
so.
bad timing on this. Really bad timing.
Oh, boy. All right, well,
We'll let you get back
we'll
to
let
the
you
game,
get
buddy.
going.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
everything
much,
you've done.
Josh. Really appreciate your time, and good luck this season.
Yep, we'll keep up with you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds
All right,
good.
thanks,
Thank you.
Josh. Go enjoy.
Thanks, Josh.
All right. Thank you again to Josh Doan. Round of applause from the people. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate his time as always.
Wow.
Well spoken like his dad. Literally his father's son to the absolute max. Wow, great game going on behind us. D-backs up 5-0.
We also have a Western on the wall here. We've got John Wayne on the wall here.
Nobody's looking at that, Craig. We're all looking at the D-backs.
I will
game.
say
right now.
the atmosphere here at the DoubleTree Hilton is fantastic. So if you are going to
It
go to
is.
a game, what better place to stay? Because the rink's literally right there.
Like, we're looking at it.
We're connected to it. You don't even have to walk outside to go to the rink from the DoubleTree in Hilton. So if you do want to DoubleTree Hilton here in Tucson, if you do want to go to a game, stop by here, stop in the bar,
Yeah,
stay
it's a
overnight.
pretty cool bar, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
That's
nice.
awesome.
Really nice
And
hotel
thanks for hosting
too.
us.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, before we move on, I was, thinking about what should I, because, Sean's not here. So I had to take some initiative on our DraftKings pick of the week.
You did?
And originally I was thinking, I'll do a D-backs thing. Then I realized we would be live during the game. But
too late.
In Sean's honor, I must. Bills money line. Tomorrow morning, London, 6:30 a.m. game.
Oh, I'll be up.
You think Sean's going to be up?
No.
I think so.
Think so?
I think he'll get up.
Okay.
Bills money line, because if it wasn't Bills money line, it won't be a DraftKings pick of the week. Minus 245, London, England. Book it. That's my DraftKings pick of the week. You can bet on the D-backs to win this series. I don't think the odds would be very good to win the game. They just scored again.
6-0. Is this
6-0? I feel like we're doing a D-backs watch along right now.
This is the first inning.
Is it?
Insane.
The D-backs are a wagon. And by the way, if you haven't bought the D-backs wagon shirt, I recommend you do so. I bought mine. It is still not here. Hopefully it gets here in time for this series.
Yes.
But the D-backs are a wagon, so you can go bet on them to win this series against the Dodgers right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Get in on the action. And we got NFL all day tomorrow, so you can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the code PHNX, and new customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet $5 on the NFL. That's code PHNX only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort Kansas. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Whew. Wow, that was a mouthful. Congratulations.
Thank you. I made it. I made it through. And listen, there's a lot going on today. We have a ton of sports. I don't think PHNX has ever been in so many places at once.
That's true.
And one of the places that we are is the ASU Colorado game, which was a daytime start.
Who's winning?
I haven't checked. That's Craig's job.
I keep getting bounced off the internet here, so...
Somebody in the chat, let us know who's winning that game. But for those who went to that game, I hope they brought their Shady Rays because it was a sunny one. I was rocking mine on the drive down. So was Petey. We were both wearing our Shady Rays down the I-10. So if you haven't bought Shady Rays yet, it's 2417 Colorado. Okay. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Okay, anything you want to talk about from Josh and John before we move on to this game? Or are you guys ready to talk about the game?
Let's talk a little preseason. Mostly that...
It's over.
It's over.
We
as
did
I said,
it.
Told you guys in the press box, you can't spell preseason hockey without
HK.
It's over.
If you know, you know.
So happy that the preseason is over. It was a long preseason, especially for us, Leah.
Oh my God. I was sitting there.
But I didn't get to go to
But I was
Australia.
sitting there. I was like, I can't believe it. First of all, I can't remember the last time I've been to 3 preseason games, let alone like 2 in Australia and 1 in Tucson. Like, what is that?
Unbelievable.
None in the Valley.
So weird. So weird. But we made it. It's over. And they really went out with a bang, I got to say. 7-1 final. You had Carcone with multiple points, Liam O'Brien with multiple points, just as we all predicted from today. Veggie almost got the shutout. Almost. Matt Dumba, 3 points. Of course, we got another incredible penalty shot goal from Logan Cooley, which we'll break down in a second.
Yeah.
But, man,
Well,
thoughts
you
on the
got your
game?
puck talk ready to go on that Logan Cooley penalty shot? No?
We'll tell about the Cooley goal in a second. A couple things. We've said, when we say we, I mean me, and I use that term a lot, but it's just... Like, you have to be very careful about preseason not getting too high or too low. And I know this is a 7-1 victory for the Coyotes, and that's good. You'd rather have them win 7-1 than lose 7-1. But again, walk away from it. It's not. You're playing an Anaheim team that is playing their last game.
The Ducks aren't great.
They're not great for one. 2, they don't care about this game.
Nope.
They want to get home. They want to get home and get back to so the score doesn't really matter. But we've always said that you want to see individual players have good performances, and you want to see the team start to come together and structure. And I think that's what we've seen from Australia to today. This team has gelled and become closer. And Craig got to get to Andre after.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Andre really emphasized. And we heard it at the beginning of the preseason that Australia was really going to benefit them because it was the NHL roster that was going almost basically exclusively the NHL roster. And he said at the end of it, yes, it definitely had a benefit. You feel like you've got a little bit of a head start because these guys have been playing together for a couple weeks now.
Yeah.
So we'll see, right? You don't know. We're going to get into the season. We'll see if it pays dividends for them, but they like where they are right now. They've got a couple roster decisions to make. I don't think they're that difficult, to be honest. We've talked about this a lot. We kind of have an idea who's going to be left behind here in Tucson. But this is an interesting season to me. I don't remember being as intrigued about a season as this one in a long time, to be honest. When I look at the roster, you could look at some of those Rick Tocchet teams and say, okay, they're climbing, but you could see the flaws.
And you didn't like the mixes of them either, right? There's always something that were missing on those teams.
Yep.
And I think this team, you look at and go, gosh, from line 1 to line 4, I don't think they're as deep and as strong as some of the teams in the Western Conference.
Right.
Let's not kid ourselves that this isn't the Colorado Avalanche. But from their first to their 12th forward, that there's some NHL players here. For the first time, this is a deeper team up front, and they're going to have to sit out players on a nightly basis. And on the back end, we've said that's the concern. I still think that's what's going to keep them from the playoffs. I don't think they have there are teams that have really deep top 6, and I think you have to defend well to win. And Vegas Golden Knights defended extremely well to win the Stanley Cup. I think that's where their shortcoming is going to be. But to your point, I'm excited to see what this team can do, especially under a coach that brings the group together like he does. And I wouldn't bet against Andre Tournier. Those guys play really, really hard for him, and I think that this is going to be a fun, exciting team to watch. And I tell you what, just the price of admission to watch number 92 play, that Logan Cooley kid can play.
I want to talk about him for a second because I know we're saying, don't read too much into the preseason, but if you're going to be a rookie like Logan Cooley and make a splash in the preseason, and get everybody excited, I feel like he's accomplished that to the max. I feel like almost every single preseason game he's played, he's had an amazing goal or play. And, I know it's not going to be all rainbows when he gets into the regular season. He's going to go through periods of struggle. But what an exciting player. He looks fast. He looks strong on the puck. And for the second game in a row, he had an unbelievable penalty shot goal. And because this game was not broadcast on TV, and because we have great camera people like our good friend Christopher Canfield, we have a great video, which we're going to show right now. PD is going to do his PD's Puck Talk.
Where's Chris Canfield?
Kidding. He's in here somewhere.
Chris Canfield,
but if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this penalty shot.
But what's interesting about this, Leah, is he does something different than he did in the shot against Gibson. He comes in from the right, and this time he comes in from the left and goes slower. Against Gibson, he came in from the right and went faster, which just shows me that the kid's got more tools in his toolbox than some of the other players in the league. And I want to say this, and this is going to be a bold statement, Cotton, and you can actually clip this. I've watched a lot of Connor Bedard over the last week. I've watched every game he's played in the preseason. And as of right now, today, Logan Cooley's been better. And I know we're only saying it's only preseason, but do you see the highlight Connor Bedard goal? Here's the highlights of Connor Bedard. And the kid's going to be amazing. Unbelievable hockey player. He beats a couple of defensemen. He's in on the goalie. And he doesn't score. Here's a penalty shot goal. And he didn't score. Here's a pass that every kid from the age of 10 on up could have made as an assist to Connor Murphy. What an assist. Bullshit. Wasn't that good of it? He passed it. Come on. So head-to-head right now, Logan Cooley's involved physically. You saw him hit Zegras last night in the center of the ice. He's making great plays, playmaking-wise, and he's also putting the puck in the net. And here's one of the reasons why I think is there's a lot less pressure on Logan Cooley. Connor Bedard is the man, the face of that entire franchise. First-line center, first guy on the power play. Every minute he's jumping over the boards. Cooley, it's like you've talked to Andre Tournier about him on the power play. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He'll have to earn it.
Yeah.
And so I think
he'll be on the power play
him.
eventually when, who knows? That's what he said tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I think the Coyotes are playing that card right. You're a second line center right now.
Yeah.
Relax. And I think that he's going to have to earn things.
Your points on Bedard are good. By the way, clip that shade that he threw at Bedard so we can send it to CHEO. Yeah.
They'll love that.
Yeah. I mean, he's in that market too, right? So there's a lot more pressure from that.
Way more pressure.
He's going to be under the microscope a lot more. They're just not going to allow him to escape it. Yep. It's just a reality of who he is. Logan Cooley's played in Arizona. That's going to help him. I liked what I saw tonight, and I don't know if we're going to see it.
Yeah.
His line mates tonight
know
were
where you're
Jason
going.
Zucker and Alice Kerfoot.
Yeah.
Those are two veterans who can protect him. They can play defensively. Kerfoot may not have the goal-scoring abilities of Dylan Guenther that Dylan Guenther may have, but right now, I mean, he can play with pace. He can keep up with Logan Cooley, so can Jason Zucker. I'm curious to see what happens there. I don't know how it's going to play out, but that was intriguing to see that line in the final game of the preseason.
And the one thing that you brought up, and I'm glad you did, the one thing that Kerfoot did is that Kerfoot was his speed.
Yep.
And Gunther's a really talented player. He's going to be a really good player.
Ridiculous
He's going to be a goal
shot.
scorer in the
Ridiculous
National League. His shot is high, and can beat goalies clean. Right now, though, I don't know if he's got the pace to keep up with a Logan Cooley, and Kerfoot excited me today. I like to see him. He was in hard on pucks, and if he can get first guy in on a forecheck and get the puck to Zucker or Cooley, I tell you what, I'd want to be on Cooley's line because the kid's going to get you points. He's going to deliver pucks to the net, and he's going to get points on the board. So we'll wait and see. I know Dylan Guenther's kind of locked into that spot right now. I think the coaching staff really believes they want to see the chemistry between those two young kids, and I think they're thinking more of the future than they are today. They're thinking 2 years of Guenther and Cooley. Boy, I think where we're going to be 2 years from now when we're adding Simashev and Boot and the rest of that cast. Those two have had years to play together, and they may be right. Clearly, they're coaches, and we do this for a living. But I like to see Cooley play with somebody that brings more pace. And the other thing we haven't seen is the defensive side of the puck that concerns me, because right now you're playing Anaheim in preseason. You're not playing the Colorado Avalanche in regular season, and I think Logan Cooley could be a defensive liability to start. He's still a kid and he's learning his way around the league. And if you put him with Kerfoot and you put him with Zucker, you put him with more experienced guys that know how to play in this league, I think that's an advantage for him going forward. But I do see the coach's perspective when you want to get that chemistry between those two young players.
I still want to see how he adapts in the coaches will talk about the stages of a season. Bill will tell you it gets harder every 10 games. Some guys break it up into quarters. You go for the first month, and then it ramps up around Christmas. It ramps up again after the All-Star break. The games just keep getting harder and harder. How will he adapt to all that? I have no doubt that he has the skill, the pace, the brain, all of that, but it's a hard league, and he's stepping in right from college. It's a big leap.
He's never played 82 games before, and he's never played ever. And we all know that the Coyotes are blessed with their schedule. Not literally, like they play Friday, so next week it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna ease into it. Friday, no games on Saturday or Sunday. 4 games the next week. 4 games,
including they come back. This is the thing they always do to the Coyotes. They're playing either in the Eastern or Central time zone. They come home and they have that one day in between before they play a home game, and that home game the next day is a matinee, so that they don't even get 2 days.
It's against
this team,
right?
What they do.
It's against Anaheim, isn't it?
It is. I think it is.
It is. I was just talking to some of our diehards here before the show, and one of the concerns I had is how well they've come off this preseason schedule, and then they have to go out east for the first 4 games against 3 teams that we all think are contending for the Eastern Conference playoff picture. That's hard. And the Rangers, Devils, and Islanders are 3 teams that play well at home. They play with pace. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they compete, and are they able to rack up any wins at all on that trip, because it's one, you want to start the season. I like starting the season on the road. I thought it did help bond you, and there are a lot of distractions on home opening night. You've got family there. It's just, there's so much show and extravaganza that sometimes it can take the focus away from the game, so I like it. I just wish it wasn't on the East Coast, and I wish it wasn't against these 3 potential playoff teams. I think it's a difficult start, and we could be sitting here, and I don't want to get people too excited one way or the other, but this team could come back 0-4. I mean, they could, and I don't think it's push the panic button at 0-4 either, because I still think this team is improved enough from last year that I still think they're going to be a team that's going to have more points than they did a year ago.
I know we're going to do a Coyotes season preview show next week, but I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Aside from Logan Cooley, who everybody's going to be watching every night, who's a player that intrigues you on this team? Who are you really zeroing in on this season?
Leah?
Is there a guy?
My first gut instinct was Matias Michelli.
Same.
Because I'm really interested what he's going to do. It's his sophomore season, so that's always interesting. They call it the sophomore slump for a reason. Our player is going to now recognize the kind of player he is and defend him differently. Is he going to shoot the puck more? We've seen him have success scoring goals this preseason. Again, it's the preseason. is he going to shoot at the net more?
Yeah.
And you're walking and talking with Lawson Krause. Krause actually mentioned that and mentioned.
He hopes not.
Yeah, seriously.
Please pass the puck.
Yeah. But he's one that interests me because is he going to continue to rise? Is he going to fall? Is he going to still be that elite passer, or is he going to shoot the puck more?
Yeah, and I think we've seen from training camp that he looks like he's taken a step forward. And he's got power play goals now. He's got 2 of them, and I thought he's shooting the puck on the power play. So maybe, and the other guy that interests me besides Michelli is J.J. Mosier. He's a guy that's been playing continually on the right-hand side.
Like groupthink.
And
the same 2 guys in mind.
Did you really?
Yeah,
but he's playing,
literally the same 2 guys.
He's going to play on the left-hand side for the first time in a regular spot. We think he's going to play regularly on the left, and maybe that helps get the puck movement out of his zone and up the ice a little bit better. Because he defends exceptionally well, and I want to see where his bar is set. What is the ceiling for J.J. Mosier? He's a guy that most of the league doesn't know about and hasn't even heard of, to be honest. And he's a guy that I think can be the top pair right now for this team.
That's why those 2 guys fascinate me so much, because we can talk about the high-end pieces like Keller and Cooley or the guys that are coming underneath, but when you have those guys, when you have guys like that, Lawson Krause has already taken that step up, so he's another guy that's part of that core. If these 2 guys can take a step up to that level, then you just have more pieces to put those prospects that are coming in. It becomes a more complete team. It becomes a more complete roster, so I'm really intrigued by both of those guys.
A couple guys in the chat mentioned as well, Dodor, I'm not sure how to say your name, sorry, said, I want to see Hayton make this step up. Ezra said Kerfoot. Kenny also echoed Hayton as well. Robert said Keller, that's another good one. Is he going to...
Can he do it again?
Can he do it again?
Some consistency in his game.
Charles said Cooley, Michelli, and McBain. Justin said Mosier and Hayton, time for them to take the next step. So a lot of Hayton as well. I think that's another really good answer.
Yeah, it is.
With Barrett Hayton, he got to the net front again today. The Dursey goal, he doesn't get an assist on that, but he's standing right in front of the goaltender, Stalock, and Stalock doesn't see a thing. And that's what his role has been. That's a very difficult place for a player to go to because you're staring down shots from your defenseman 100 miles an hour, and you're supposed to just stand there.
And you've got like 6-something guys like beating on you the entire time. But at least it's a defined role for Barrett Hayton. He knows what he needs to do with those line mates, and he seems to be embracing it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the guys. I agree with something to watch there. The McBain one, to me, he played up in the lineup last year after Bukestad got traded, and we saw. I think he did that with some success, and I think he went to the net really hard. I still think that there's a little jumble and juggling to go on with this 4th line. I think we've seen 5 guys rotate in and out of there, and actually 6 when you include Sanford. And there's a lot of movement there, and I don't know what the answer is. The Carcone pass behind his back to McBain today was
oh my god,
it was ridiculous. So maybe it's just situations, right? You're playing a physical team, you might have the bigger bodies, and if you're playing a skill team, that's one of the things that I'm going to ask next week. Now that we have, once we get the final roster on Monday, it's one of the things I want to dive into. But the 4th line, has 5 options right now.
You have 5 players right now, and well, really 6 because Sanford hasn't been sent down. So you got 6.
I think he will be, but
I do too. But Craig, you have 5 guys fighting for 3 spots. It's and if he dresses 7-11, now you're sitting on 3 forwards. So now, it's hard if you're Carcone, if you're Boyd, if you're O'Brien. You can't sit out 3, 4, 5 nights in a row. It gets really, really hard psychologically to stay involved and be a part of the team. It's really hard. So I don't know how you're going to do it with that many bodies right now. I don't know. Having 1 extra forward is hard enough.
And you don't have the option of sending any of those guys down either because they're all on. So they're on one way.
They're all on one contract.
Pass through waivers. And maybe
Carcone does. Maybe.
But
he led the American League
Liam O'Brien might pass through too, right?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Do you want to do that with a guy like that?
I don't think you do. I think Liam O'Brien gets 2 points tonight. He's a guy that I think he takes too many penalties, and I've actually told that to him, and he didn't hit me, so that was good. but he's one of the guys that could be a physical force and protect players on this team. And if you're going to play a lot of young guys, you better have somebody that can throw them, and he can. So I don't know. And Boyd's another guy that was a first-line center 2 seasons ago, and now we're trying to decide if he can fit anywhere on the roster. So I think that's if your hardest decisions, and this is what we always used to say. It's funny, you spend so much time talking about players that are going to play 8 minutes a night. And that's right now all of the decisions you have to make is guys playing. So that's a good place for this coaching staff to be when their decision-making is based on guys on the 4th line. So I think we've all said it all along this training camp, this team has progressed and taken a big step forward, and the scores over the last few games have really proved that. Now we need to wait till next Friday to see how do they do when it counts?
So we need to be honest about something here.
Okay.
The three of us. We talked a lot about Logan Cooley before and his amazing penalty shot. We were not in our seats.
Oh, you weren't going to tell anybody that.
We were not in our seats because
I don't know what you're talking about.
we were getting mini donuts at that time. Of course, we were. But we'd be remiss if we did not give our mini donut review. So it's an annual tradition.
But tell the story, Leo. We were literally, like, nothing was happening. We were going to go 5 minutes to go in the second period. We're going to go. There's nothing going on. So let's go get our mini donuts. All of a sudden, we're getting donuts, and all of a sudden, ooh.
No, I heard them say penalty shot, and I, like, sprinted over.
Thank God Leah had her phone handy.
I did.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I was ready. But
she caught it.
We tried 3 different types of mini donuts.
Yes.
We did.
Cinnamon sugar, regular sugar, and pumpkin spice. What should have been the clue was Petey said, "How's the pumpkin spice?" And she goes, she hesitates. She goes, "Pretty good."
Yeah. Should have learned. Should have listened.
Yeah.
Because it smelled like there was a lot of spice there.
It smelled amazing.
It smelled like a lot of spice, didn't it?
It smelled amazing.
I don't know if it smelled, but it smelled.
You mean from the counter, not from the bag. From the bag, it was like, yeah.
From the counter. You go, oh, this is a good idea. It's warm, pumpkin-y. Yes, please. And you took one and you go, where's the flavor? And so I went up to her and I said, can we get more pumpkin spice on this? And I wish you guys could have seen how much spice she threw on it. Still nothing.
Did you inhale that stuff, buddy?
I
did. You stick your nose in the bag?
It was too much.
It was powerful, man. But it was like snorting ether.
So
thought I was going to pass out.
So learned your lesson, and we talked a lot of the diehards here. Here's the lesson. Keep it simple.
Yep.
Sugar or cinnamon sugar, and that's it. Keep it simple.
That's the truth.
Yep.
What's going on with the D-backs? More?
I don't know. 7-0.
And then but we do have to talk to Kelly because Kelly had to go home. Kelly, one of our diehards.
Yes.
Kelly Herman, one of our diehards, was here with her daughter Molly, and they went with the Neapolitan.
Yep.
We did not get the drizzles. They went the
It
Neapolitan.
was Neapolitan.
Oh yeah,
according to the spelling on the side. But
what was it?
It was a typo.
It was a typo.
Oh, well,
yeah.
the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. And Molly, which I said would tell her favorite, she liked the strawberry drizzle. That was Molly's favorite.
I thought about trying that, actually. Strawberry was pretty good.
Hope Kelly and Molly made it home safe.
Fair.
Now we have another goal for next year.
There are a lot of donuts here in this crowd.
Yeah.
But we pushed.
What is the over-under on mini donuts consumed by this group?
Oh, there's a lot of donuts. But I think we should start getting them as a sponsor. Or at least we should get free donuts.
This segment is brought to you by the Mini Donut Stand at the TCC. Go get your mini donuts, but maybe not the pumpkin spice ones because they are kind of mid.
And not during a Cooley penalty.
No. Or do it so that the Coyotes score or the Roadrunners.
Unfortunately, that won't happen here, as John Ferguson Jr. just told us. Logan Cooley will not be back in Tucson. So.
No.
Breaking news.
I like how he said that. I don't think he's coming.
Yeah, no, he's
So
not.
what's up next? What's up next for this group? For the Coyotes?
Well, the cuts. I mean, they're going to have tomorrow off, and then Monday they'll practice. I always find that weird. You know, the day of cuts, it's rough. Although maybe not so much with the Coyotes this year. But yeah, final rosters are due on Monday. So
yeah, so they'll get 3 guys done tomorrow. And ironically, they're here.
I mean, that's what I wondered too. Are they even going back with the team? Yeah.
Like, it's almost a shame to drive them back, but they do because they have cars there and stuff. So it kind of sucks, but they all had to go.
Your bets? Who's staying?
Sanford, Soderstrom, and Prosvetov.
Yeah.
Are coming back.
Yeah.
Back down the I-10.
Back down the I-10.
Yep. And we will update everybody on Monday when those cuts happen.
Are we working Monday?
We are. We do have a show Monday through Friday next week. But Friday's the game.
Friday's the game.
We got previews. We got previews.
We got our Western Conference previews, so we'll have that. We're gonna try and do
team preview on Thursday.
We're gonna do our Coyotes season preview, and on Friday, Petey and I are gonna do a live watch along during the game.
We are.
I'll be at the Rock.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
Craig is gonna actually be there.
Yep.
In the Rock, and you're gonna go for a nice walk between periods.
Oh yeah,
outside.
It's a beautiful neighborhood. If I need some wound care, I'll be good.
Yeah, I bet you can get a tattoo parlor within a block or two. But yeah, it'll be fun. So we've talked about if you want that second screen experience from your antenna on 15.2, you can jump over and watch Leah and I on a second screen because we're gonna talk about the game, the entire game. And I'm going to hopefully do some more PD's Puck Talks and live whiteboard talks, and we're going to teach people the game of hockey during the game. So make it a 2-screen experience.
Yep, should be a lot of fun.
Yep.
This was a really fun day. One of my favorite parts was seeing all of the PHNX and PHNX
cool.
Coyotes shirts. especially at Illegal Pete's when we walked in. And by the way, thank you to everybody who came out to Illegal Pete's.
Oh,
we had an amazing turnout. It was so freaking fun. I can't believe we got this many people together in another city. Like, how did we do that? Craig,
look at that really tall guy on the right.
What happened?
Craig. Craig.
That is bizarre. I don't know how that happened. But we saw a ton of great Coyotes shirts, and it just makes me really happy to see. I had a few people show me their shirts under their Coyotes Kachina jerseys. Fire. That made me really happy.
Yes.
So grab yours right now. Get ready for the season. PHNXlocker.com. If you're not a diehard and you want to get a free shirt, you can sign up and get a free shirt when you sign up to become a diehard. And if you're a diehard, you get 20% off shirts. So one of the many perks to being a diehard.
Is there a new shirt coming?
There may be. And I think it's pretty cool.
Maybe a new shirt that's very cool.
I think it's pretty cool.
Cool.
So, I don't know. Could be a cool one to get. All right. And as always, join us at all of our events. You get 20% off any of our ticketed events, but we also have free PHNX Cardinals away game watch parties for all away games at the BetMGM Sportsbook this season. So join us for those, for ticket raffles, prize giveaways, and more. And while we're talking about the diehards, if you are here
if the diehards
at the Hilton, DoubleTree,
if
you are here at the Hilton,
another group shot,
DoubleTree, which thank you
Try
again.
Not to tear down the wires,
till the Hilton
Emma
for
won't be happy.
Woo, a Cooley jersey.
Look at that.
By the way, Kate got me in queso at Illegal Pete's, so blessed.
Cameras over here.
Thank you again to the DoubleTree by Hilton in Tucson for hosting us. This has been an amazing venue. Look at all the diehards who made the trip to Tucson. Some live here, some live in Sierra Vista, some live in Phoenix, some live in Gilbert. We have the whole squad. We appreciate you all so much. This is awesome. Seriously, I guess we're just posing for the camera. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. This has been so fun. I love this tradition. We'll keep it going. Cool. We have a lot of fun stuff planned for the season. So if you're watching this having FOMO, don't worry. We have a lot of fun things ahead this year. It's going to be a great Coyote season. I'm really excited. Preseason is in the books, everybody. Woo-hoo. It's time for the regular season. Let's do this. You can follow us on Twitter at Craig S. Morgan, at Leah Merrill, at S. Peters Hockey, at Emma Ann Clark. There we go. There it is. Thank you, Emma, by the way, for producing us today. Yeah. Sean's busy watching the wagon D-back, so he had to, be back in the valley. But again, you can follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you never miss when we go live and you never miss anything. Big weekend for PHNX Sports, by the way. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody, and we will see you all on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.